Good evening. It's Wednesday night. It's time for some more Fantasy Star Generation 1. And last week, we got our first game over. Not too shabby for, however many hours we've been playing for. But the Frost Dragon handed us our butts. So, in the interim, I've gone off. I've gotten a few more healing crystals. Got a little older, a little wiser. And we're ready to return to the boss after some healing. Okay. We're back in the depths. I'll tell you, this tile seems to be a mandatory encounter because every time I bloody step on it, we get attacked regardless of what I'm doing. So I knew I should have save stated, and this is the first save state I've used as well. So first save state I've used. I'm doing this to heal up now. Yeah, so I'll have to go back to YouTube and check or the VODs and check my runtime, but I don't have one of those lovely little stat blocks like other streamers do. Apologies. But yeah, first game over, first save state used. I think that's not too bad. Okay. I may reuse that save state if we lose to the Frost Dragon again. I do have some interesting finds to tell you about, but we'll get to the dragon first. But I can tell you I'm thoroughly sick of the various passages you have to get through to cross Tesaurus. It is annoying. Very painful. Okay. But you may be able to see it already. Let's do magic. G heal. Let's do it, Lisa. Okay. Cool. So, just before we take on the dragon, let's just make sure everything's hunky-dory, ready to roll. Okay. Okay. Are we ready for revenge? Now, first things first is buffs, is defense buffs. And that is all Meow's part of the world, so. So yeah, what I did was went back to Caminite. I got everybody 2 heal crystals because they do stack. So you get more regeneration per round. Elisa is the only one who had 2 heal crystals in the first instance, so that was... So she was out healing everybody else. But what else happened is I actually found... I thought we were going to go through the whole game with no MP restoring items, because there are... I do recall some MP restoring items from later Phantasy Star games. But that doesn't mean they existed in Phantasy Star 1. And they don't, in a way. Maybe it's the translation, maybe it's something else, but yeah, we found... He doesn't have the status curing one, does he? Let's unparalyze, hopefully. We can't unparalyze Tyrone. We'll have to do that with somebody else. We found Trifluid. So we skipped past monofluid and difluid, went straight to trifluid, which gives you back MP. So Meow's got that at the moment. Not Meow. Lisa's got that at the moment. In the hopes that she'll, either she or Tyrone with the higher HP counts can bring back somebody's MP when required. But let's do Cula. Let's do Palma on Elisa. Yep. Let's hope our strategy holds up. A lot of spell casting, a lot of buffing happening. She, whatever the Frost Dragon identifies as, is definitely picking on Tyrone. They've identified the major player, and they're going for it. I do wish you could see the HP stuff all the time. Just so I know what's going on. So, Meow's still got plenty of MP left, so let's switch to offensive magic. Although I'm wondering if Refrose is going to do much. Yeah, no. I haven't learned anything from last week, of course. Ooh, Elisa needs some help. Okay. Let's attack first. Attack, attack, attack. And let's get Lutz into the healing game. I do love the boss music. Ooh, jeez. It does make me wonder how long the defensive and offensive buffs last, because it seems like it does seem like it doesn't tell you when they finish. They just, it's up to you to figure it out. You've got the attack buff icons telling you what's going on, which that's fine, that's great. But when does the defensive buffs end? Who knows? So the really, really relying heavily on passive healing to keep us trucking. So let's do those buffs again. Let's do a do heal. Keep everybody topped up. Because they can do stuff like that. This is the third of 4 dragons, so we've actually got a dragon to go after this. So we're going to find out how tough they can really get. So should Meow buff his own attack? Why not? Why not? Everybody's health is okay for now. Got to keep an eye on it though. Got to keep an eye on Lutz's MP too. Meow can step in with a do heal, like that's fine. But I think Lutz's magic stats. Hey, Serial Warriors, how you going? How's your Wednesday night going, or whatever time it is of the day? We're exactly where we left off last week, still battling the Frost Dragon. But hopefully making some progress. What I wouldn't give for a scan spell or something along those lines to go, yes, here's how much health this big boss you're cutting down has left. So when he does do that individual attack, it is just time. You got to heal him up straight away. The grinding helped a little bit, but when HP and MP, per level is only in the single figures, you'd have to grind a lot to get that kind of... All right, speaking of health, let's do a heal. Gotta do it. I've got a good feeling. Unless they do all more damage than I just healed for, of course. That is the strongest all-party heal spell we've got, so... Okay. We can do... can have both do heals. Why not? The double heal crystal regeneration is not lifting my game as much as I hoped it would. Oof. Every time I feel like I'm being a bit paranoid about healing, then he does that a massive amount of damage. And it's just like, yeah, it's a good thing I healed. If it wasn't for healing, that would be death for Meow. And as we found out last week, loots can't resurrect people in battle. It's a outside of battle spell. So somebody dies in battle, and you don't have a resurrection item, that's it. You've lost them until the next battle. Oh, please die, dragon. Oh, I'm glad you didn't miss this week's Fantasy Star either, even though I didn't have the right details when I hit start streaming. Hey! Got him. Oh, you're watching on the TV again? Awesome. That's the way to do it. Hopefully the new frame looks good on a CRT, since that's where the graphics originally come from. And we got the Aero Prism. There we go. Let's look at our key items. Allows you to see the unseen. So while I was grinding in between last week and this week, getting some more healing items, getting a couple extra levels while I was at it, mapping out this dungeon. In this dungeon is this key that unlocks the Corona Tower for us. So now that we've beaten this dungeon, now that we've beaten this boss, let's see what the team has to say. Okay, dead dragon count 3. All that's left is the black dragon. Am I really strong enough to beat Lashek, or have I just been lucky? Well, considering we had a game over last week, Elisa, you've grown very strong during our travels. Besides, we're a team. Go team. Tyrone? Yeah? I'm going to kick Lashek. Okay, print screen button. I'm going to kick Lashek's ass. Or Lashek's arse, if you prefer. I never heard you curse before. Are you okay? I'm fine. I promised Nero I'd defeat Lashek, but I'm not alone in my fight, right? Elisa. Elisa, you've inspired me to be a stronger person. This is sweet. To Corona Tower. Move it. Drinking cranberry juice. Lovely stuff. It is hot in here, so all I'm doing is drinking water. Let's go back to Orc Bar and see what they've got to say. Or at least we can heal up. The man with the crayon. Man with the plan, drinking the crayon, eating some flan. Okay. I'll heal you up something nice like. Oh. Feels good. So let's talk to people on this side of town, because this is the truth-telling side of town. Oh no, this is the lying side of town, I think. I'm very confused about which side was the real side. Alright, so far we've managed just to talk to the people who say the other side lies. The gem, your weapons, you diced up the wise dragon and Medusa good. You won't dice up the frost dragon, I bet. We have. You have to kill the frost dragon. Yes, yes, we've got the Aero Prism. We've got the Corona Key. Oh, X-Files was huge in Australia. I think it used to be on a Wednesday night, I'm pretty sure. But definitely when I was in high school, everybody was watching X-Files. I did occasionally skip an episode if I thought it was going to be too scary, but we've done them all. We've done this update game. Yeah, no, definitely. We loved our Mulder and Scully. Ah, nice. I remember the lone gunman. I remember stretchy liver-eating guy, and I remember black oil coming out of people's eyes. But otherwise, wasn't really an X-Files super fan. But yeah, it was definitely popular here. Okay. Let's have a look at our map of Dosaurus, just to see where this tower could be. Because all we've seen so far is bloody caves. Okay, I've got a inkling of where it might be. Okay. Oh, you've been to most of the... Oh, was it filmed in Canada, yeah? That's awesome. Can't really do that much in South Australia. Not much was filmed in South Australia ever. Although it is when like in the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a bit of a boom of filming things in Sydney in New South Wales. So the Matrix is the one I remember the most. Some of the buildings that they didn't change them; they're just buildings in Sydney, and you're like, oh, that's Sydney. Oh, of course, New Zealand. All right, now to go through the Raquel Pass for the 20 millionth time. Ugh. New Zealand is a beautiful country to film in, so can't blame them for that. Okay, we've got a couple of atlases. Let's burn one because for whatever reason my mind slides off of which way to go in this bloody tunnel. Although I wonder if I should be leveling up more considering how much the Frost Dragon whooped us. Okay, this is the wrong way to go. Oh. Alright, let's kill some of these. You want to fight so bad? We'll fight. Yeah, so when finding my way back to the Frost Dragon, I found the Corona key down a path in the dungeon we didn't take before. So if you're wondering where that was, that's where all the excitement happened. I imagine that's what it's like for people who live in Cardiff and watch Doctor Who. They can go, I know that quarry. What gets me about it though is all these American series and movies going, oh, we'll go to Sydney, we'll go to Montreal, and we'll pretend that it's America. And it's like, why not just, if you're going to film everything in another country, why not go, it's set in that country? Not that I'm aware of. This is a fan translation. And I actually found at Hysteric Moon's prompting, I went and found the Fantasy Star collection that was in the Sega Ages setup, which led me to find that this and all the other Sega Ages games are on archive.org. So they have a perfectly legit torrent of everything. And their torrent has the translation hacks that I've got already that I applied myself for Phantasy Star Generation 1 and Generation 2. So no, I don't think they were officially translated at all. So you can see that aside from Tyrone, the HP and MP gains are still only single digits. So you'll always pirate first-party Nintendo games. Why is that? Seems like those would be some of the hardest. Nintendo are very strict about their stuff. Is that a moral standpoint, Serial Wars, or is it just a I don't like Nintendo standpoint? They're one of the greediest companies and by far the most profitable gaming company. There you go. I thought like Activision Blizzard and who Microsoft just acquired had the biggest profits, but You might be right. I mean, they've been around for a very long time. I don't really pirate much anymore. I just, I did in the late '90s, early 2000s. I've got next to my Dreamcast in the drawers behind me. There might be a CD changer of various pirated games, but that was because I couldn't afford any better. Well, there you go. So it's a policy thing. See, I'm behind on the Nintendo world. My last handheld was a DSi XL, and my last Nintendo console was the Wii, which is still under my TV. So I can't even pirate any games. I got nothing to play them on. No Switch, no 3DS. It's not even like I play them just if I did want to, I wouldn't buy them. Well, that's fair enough. If that's the way you feel about it, that's fine. But I wouldn't. I would never. Now that we have such a wealth of indie games and stuff like that, I find myself buying games. Well, I get the PS Plus games every month on PlayStation, so and I pay for PS Plus because I like playing online. I play online with my brothers-in-law, and sometimes you just want to play Call of Duty on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? And you need PS Plus for that. So hey, you get games with it. You'd rather pirate the new Pokemon game and subscribe to a stream and playing it. Oh, fair enough. I mean, I'm well behind on my Pokemon games. I play Pokemon Go, and my daughter goes, "Have you got that? Have you seen that one before?" And I'll be like, "Nope," because I'm a few generations behind. Let me just check my map to make sure I know where I'm going. Yep, I think I'm heading in the right direction. For Corona Tower, the aptly names. Oh, definitely, it's on the list. But I'm playing in order, so we got to get through this one and 2 and 3 and 4. There's a you could even play. I saw from some various streams that there's a Twitch community Pokemon game where a bot just goes, blah blah blah. Pokemon has appeared. Throw your Pokeball to catch it. So there you go. You could even watch a streamer. You could pirate Pokemon, watch a streamer play it, and play Pokemon in the chat while you go. So you'll play any. There you go. Absolutely. I'll probably play whatever's easiest to get a hold of. I mean, I could, as opposed to this where I'm running off a disk image, I could emulate my Fantasy Star Online copy that's in the cupboard over there, blow the dust off it, make sure it's not too scratched up, make use of my dusty old computer's dusty old CD drive, which doesn't get much use these days. It would still be quieter than playing it in a Dreamcast, where you turn it on and it goes beep because all the VMU batteries are dead, and because the heat sinks don't work anymore, it'll be like. All right, I think we're not far away from Corona Tower. It would be epic. I found the controllers in my drawer. I'd have to see if there's some sort of Dreamcast. Oh, it didn't sound good. The old Dreamcast disc noise. I've I had a Dreamcast early enough that I have done the. Oh, this is the morgue. Fudge. Ah, this is the morgue. Okay, if that's the morgue, where's Corona Tower? Okay. Oh, that sucks. See, rather than grinding out levels to beat the Rather than grinding out levels to beat the dragon, I should have been mapping the world. It's okay, I've got a plan. Did you ever have to clean the pins in your Dreamcast or replace the laser or anything like that? Oh. At one point, I was even going to look into buying an American Dreamcast because I was so shitted off that they got the 56K modem, and Australia, like I think Europe and Japan, got the 33K modem. But then half the games that came out in Australia weren't supported anyway. So someone stole it. No. Was it a somebody broke into your house deal, or was it a or did they or was it a case of you lent it to someone and they never gave it back type deal? Oh, I learnt with the Dreamcast. I learnt with the Nintendo 64 not to pre-order games because you pay. They get delayed over and over and over again, and you pay full price, and then you have to wait, and it doesn't really give you any advantage. When people who wait a month after it came out get it for a discount and all that other stuff. But with the Dreamcast, oh my word! In Australia, there's a gaming magazine called Hyper, and a guy who was an editor on Hyper went to work for a company called Aussiesoft. Roommate jacking. Yep. Tale as old as time. Always have to be careful with share houses and roommates and everything else. Like, you never know what they're going to fucking take off you. Okay. But yeah, so I can't remember his name. I would have cursed his name back in the late 90s, but he worked for Hyper, this magazine I was subscribed to, went to work for Aussiesoft. All the news was, all the news coming for this guy was everything's going to be great. Australian launch of Dreamcast is going to be amazing, blah, blah, blah. It came out the year after America. It came out in 2000. No virtual memory units at launch. 2 games at launch, Sonic Adventure and Blue Stinger. No internet at launch, like it just wasn't supported, it didn't work. And then when internet-enabled games did start coming out, like Phantasy Star Online worked, of course, Choo Choo Rocket. But then stuff like Quake 3 came out, and it was just like, this might work, might not. Good luck, have a nice day. And, the word out of Aussiesoft was just, this happened, and this. It was always excuses. There was never a we stuffed up. And I've learnt in my own professional life, people are a lot happier if you just, the world's not going to fall down if you just say, we stuffed up, it's okay. Didn't have to buy the modem separate, no. It just came with a 33K modem, so it wasn't that bad. And there was a Dreamcast broadband adapter like late in the life. I can't remember if that was official or not. Anyway, this is Corona Pass. Well, needs a special gem if you want to complete the exchange, you dig? Okay. I think we're good. He didn't call us a freaky warrior. That sucks. PlayStation. No traps. Okay. The sad thing about the DC broadband adapter, it was barely supported by any games. Most games required the mono fluid. Hey, there you go. So now we've got 2 MP restoring items. Most games required 56K. Oh, that's all right. Yeah. It was too early for broadband, really. And with the Dreamcast modem, I mostly used it for chat rooms and browsing the web in my room. 33K, you just had to... Iceman. Let's give these Icemen a go. I'll always remember the Phantasy Star themed chat room I used to chat in called Paseo's Tavern. Well, I had the keyboard. That's how I used it. I had way too much disposable income, So I bought the Dreamcast keyboard, and that made browsing the web 10 million times easier. So you'd use the controller kind of like a mouse. Use the joystick to pick things and click on things, but then the keyboard you just type away. So, I couldn't imagine trying to use a chat room with a controller. It's too much typing. You're testing my old man memory here, but there was kind of this may be completely wrong. I feel like there was a kind of a Dreamcast portal that you started up when you put the Dream key in the disk for the internet. It's a lot of mammoths. And it would just kind of have links off to places, and one of them was a place called Paseo's Tavern. And Paseo's Tavern, Paseo is a city from Phantasy Star 2, so I was like, sign me up. And it was just people chatting about whatever. It was the old days of chat rooms and IRC and all that fun stuff. I don't know. I think Discord kind of has that kind of vibe sometimes. That it's just like a big old chat room. But I tell you what, I love Twitch and live gaming and YouTube streaming and all that sort of stuff. So you experienced all that, just not Dreamcast Online. There you go. Well, it was Web 1.0 when there was no Facebook, no Google. Discord's dreadful. I only jump in there for stuff where people are coordinating things and they go, we're coordinating something and we're doing it in the Discord. So it's like, all right, I guess I'll join the Discord then. What do you find dreadful about it? Is it? I don't have much time to hang out on Discords, so you come back a day later or 2 days later, and there's like 500 new posts, and I find it really difficult to go back and read what everybody was talking about. That's my main issue with it. We must be heading in the right direction because the enemies are whooping us. They're getting stronger. Discord reminds me of IRC, just with more bells and whistles. IRC, free. Everybody had their own chat channel. If you didn't like the people in your current channel, just nick off and go to another one. Massive security flaws on the back end. Well, there you go. So don't post any personal details for starters. It just has no character or personal touch to it. I miss chat rooms and forums or TeamSpeak servers. Well, I don't know about TeamSpeak servers, but forums are still out there. They're just not as populated as they used to be. Discord's filled with ego-tripping admins. I can imagine. Steer clear of any admins. It's all about like what channels or whatever you join. If a channel's full of assholes and ego tripping admins, as you put it, then just bugger them. Just leave, walk away. The only Discord I post on with any regularity is based on a Discord. I don't go to Reddit. Never go to Reddit. Never go to Reddit. Never go to Reddit. Never go to Reddit. Yeah, I can't read Reddit threads, and having it be non-chronological, but instead be based on community voting, it's like, ugh. Just give it to me in the order people posted, like the old fan groups. I do remember you can't find it now. It's not on the Internet Archive, thank God. I had a GeoCities webpage uh, where I was writing Fantasy Star fan fiction. Not that kind of fan fiction. Nobody was stripping anybody. It was just, you know, my original character, Do Not Steal, having adventures in Fantasy Star World. Sterile's a good word for it. No, sterile is definitely the word I'd use for it. It's everything needs to be too professional. The fact I did that is amazing. Oh no. I really no, really not. I should talk about my website when there's more people, so it's even more embarrassing. The more people to tell the story about Sue, the better. No, but speaking of that, there was web rings. Like there was no Google, there's no Facebook, there was no central internet place. So you would join a web ring and say, yes, I'm in a Fantasy Star site. I'll join the Fantasy Star web ring. And you'd have links on your page to go to the next site in the web ring, and you have a view counter. And, you know, everybody's homepage of their website was, oh, welcome to my page. Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, so yeah, you had a guest book. You wanted people to sign the guest book. And you'd use Ask Jeeves and all that sort of stuff. Oh, cool. Nintendo at the end of the 90s was amazing. Every one of their first party lineups had its own personal website loaded with extra content, free Flash games. Oh, Flash games. Flash games were the best. This is how old I am. When I went to university, I did in the early 2000s. In our first year, we had kind of a multimedia course, and we made Flash games. And I worked with a couple other people, so we each took a section. No, you couldn't. Yeah, Death Bearer and Centaur. Wow. Okay. You definitely could not pay Nintendo or any company to do that now. Now it would be if you sign up to our reward system and you buy 20 million games and get 10,000 reward points, and maybe we'll give you a wallpaper. That's how it works now. They've just stopped trying to entice us with free stuff, and they realize that we'll pay through the nose. Okay. Although I will say, the game tip lines. You want to talk about what they do just to make money now? Weren't they like $5 a minute? And you'd have to wait on hold for ages just to be able to hear a recording of a hint for Sonic the Hedgehog level selects. Oh, I think Fantasy Star would have been a massive money spinner for them. Probably kept them afloat when the Saturn was tanking. They were probably like, as long as kids keep calling up about Fantasy Star 4, we'll be okay. That's what you bought the gaming magazines for. They had the cheats and the walkthroughs in the back pages, and you were only paying $5 a month to see it. God, Elisa is going to die. I do like that Centaur design. He's a humongous sword. Saturn did not. Saturn was the first one to get a Fantasy Star collection, which unfortunately a lot of their subsequent consoles got, with no new mainline story games. I'll tell you what, I'm just happy that, you know, Sega coming out with a Sonic game is not an immediate reason for me to cringe my head off. Well, I think RPGs just don't make the money anymore. Unless they're MMORPGs, or if they're an established thing like Final Fantasy. So, got an escape cloth. How lovely. But I tell you what, though, like, Sega Hotlines and Flash games in the late 90s, if Nintendo or Sega put out a video of upcoming games or something back then, it would be in Real Player, and it would be in a window about this size. Phantasy Star Online 2. So that is the MMORPG, isn't it? I get confused between that and Phantasy Star Universe, but yes, I actually have tried PSO2, but not being in it, it's the same old story. If you're not in a guild, if you don't know other people who play it, it's a very lonely experience. It looks good, but yeah, it is exactly that. It is Phantasy Star Online 2, which is more of, it feels completely divorced from Phantasy Star 1 to 4. It's just this new world that essentially it feels like they started in Phantasy Star Online. Back in my day, my first experience to any Phantasy Star game was Phantasy Star Universe. Oh, you love that game? Oh, there you go. I bought it for PC, and for whatever reason, it didn't work for me on PC, so who knows? Maybe I'll play it as part of playing the Phantasy Star series, if we ever get that far. Was that more of a... Did that had a single player campaign, didn't it? Phantasy Star Universe had a bit more story, based on looking at the back of the box. Although I also remember from the box that the main character looked very generic anime protagonist. I could just imagine him talking with a voice like, "I hate you, Dad." Yeah, Phantasy Star Online could be played offline, but what I mean by a single player campaign was that there was like cutscenes and story. Phantasy Star Online offline is exactly the same as online. You just didn't have any friends. Oh, I know about split screen GameCube Phantasy Star. Oh, for sure. Okay. I'm keeping wrapped up simply because we've had some trouble with pitfalls. As far as GameCube multiplayer gaming went, it was either Mario Party 5 or Mario Kart Double Dash for me and my friends. So no, I've still got it here somewhere. I've still got the DVD in my drawers, but for whatever reason, I think I had issues running, and then by the time I upgraded my computer and everything else, life had moved on, kind of thing. So yes, I've still got it. I should play it someday. I should give it a go. Unless it requires being online to work, in which case we're stuffed. Considering they never made a Phantasy Star Universe 2, I'm guessing it didn't do that well. I'm guessing that it wasn't a barnstorming success. Ah, okay. Good on people who do the private servers. Where would we be without the people who were like that obsessive, do their own private servers for everything? Ah. Oh, I was about to say we've got 2 stairways up, but we don't. What do we have? Hello? The Air Castle's Lashiex base. It floats and stays hidden with freaking magic. The Aeroprism makes the Air Castle visible again. It's true. Cool, good to know. You liked Phantasy Star Universe more than Phantasy Star Online? I can see that. Fantasy Star Universe was quite a few years after Fantasy Star Online, so you'd hope they would have learnt something over that time. Snake Lord. Sorry, I like some of the names. Freaking Warriors, all that fun stuff. So would you say it was more multiplayer? Was it MMO RPG like Fantasy Star Online, or was it more? Or was it a bit of both? Or did it have a campaign? I don't know. This is how long ago it's been. Came out what 15 years ago. Really like the shopping mall lobby area in PSG. More going, it was bigger. Yeah. Oh, that's the type of thing though. That's the thing that you talk about Sega in their heyday. They did some stuff, cool stuff with online straight away. Like Sonic Adventure, they at Christmas time, because the Dreamcast had had the internal clock and everything and the date. It did Christmassy stuff at Christmas time. Fantasy Star Online, the shopping area, they loved Christmas at Sega. Like they would change the music and there would be Christmas decorations around. It just made it feel so much better. The issue I have with Wrapped is a terribly short-lived spell. Good to see the lightning spell still hits hard. The thing with those online games is you do sometimes spend a lot of time in the shopping / lobby area because you're looking for a group or you're looking to trade, so they have to be good. Oh, Xbox Live sounded, aside from people saying horrible, horrible things to you in Halo, it sounds like such a better online experience. I had a PS2, and you were very lucky if anybody else had the modem or broadband adapter for PS2. If you weren't playing Final Fantasy XI, you might as well not bother having a broadband adapter for the PS2. So Xbox 360 having, Xbox having a modem, Xbox 360, Xbox Live existing. What? We walked over that tile before. What the fuck? Okay. But yeah, those kind of games, if you didn't coordinate beforehand or have friends in them, you need people with mics. You need to be able to walk up to someone and say, hey, I'm going to do this raid. What do you reckon? And have somebody go, yeah, for sure. And then off you go. Which is made a lot easier with being able to talk rather than typing. Oh my god. Please let me run away. Don't kill Lisa. And I thought PC was the place to be for that kind of online gaming, but then you'd play something like Battlefield and be like, oh, there's no in-game chat. No, you have to get on a TeamSpeak server, and you have to get onto the right TeamSpeak server to be able to hear your teammates in this. And it's like, oh my god, this is too hard. We are running away from this battle. I don't care what we do. What I'm also doing is I'm misusing loots because I've got a discus or something. I've got a multi-attack item. I should be sparing his MP and I should be equipping that. Okay. Let's give this a go. See how we go. Because we're certainly getting lots of multi-enemy battles. It's amazing that this is a retro stream with a retro category, and we're playing a game that originally came out in the 80s, and you're just making me nostalgic for the early 2000s instead. What am I doing? Casting Wrapped. Okay. Oh man, I can tell this building is going to be a pain in the ass. All right, we found out before that we couldn't run away from these battles, so let's see how we go. I love that attack. It's just, I'm just going to headbutt you with my eyeball. There doesn't seem to be a blind status, but that was... I could almost agree with that. There was, it's all about what age you were. Like, the greatest music ever released in the history of time was created when you personally were 16. And it, you know, then you turn 20 and all music sucks forever after that. But there was still, 2D happening in those days. It was just the early days of internet gaming. So I can see an argument for it, Serial Wars. I can see an argument for it. My only argument against it would be, well, not even that. I was going to say the GameCube was a bit disappointing library-wise, but I had one. I liked it. Okay. Oh no. Oh, it's going to be one of those dungeons. But yeah, just when Microsoft said they were going to have a console, and the world of gaming went, "What? Microsoft? Are you sure?" There's a pitfall. Oh, the Kinect seemed like it was running the world for a while there. Like, Wii motion controls, sure, but the Microsoft Kinect, you talk to it, and you were on camera, and it felt like everybody was just trying to catch up to that. Like Sony with the iToy, and whatever camera they had for PS3. I think they had a camera for PS3. If Rare stayed with Nintendo, it would have brought better games on GameCube. Yeah, absolutely. Microsoft never did anything good with Rare. Except Conkers, and even that was a remake of a Nintendo 64 game. So, absolutely agreed. Like, it's, and we know now that there was a HD GoldenEye under development for the Xbox. It's more than nostalgia for you, Serial Wars. How is it more than nostalgia? You've done the science. You've done the research. You can unequivocally prove it's the best generation. Okay. Maybe it's because I'm a GoldenEye fanboy, and it feels like everybody that had a Nintendo 64 loved GoldenEye to death. But you wonder if how Microsoft handled Rare would have been better if they did get that GoldenEye remaster out. Because the GoldenEye, the PS2, like there was a kind of a semi-sequel to GoldenEye, and that wasn't very good. And then there was the Wii GoldenEye, and like me and my brothers were very excited because we love GoldenEye, but not the same. Putting Daniel Craig in it just made it a bit strange. But yeah, like PS3 onwards, like the lack of exclusives is a big, big issue. Like the number of exclusives has gotten so small, which is good, like in a way, because it means you're not, you buy an Xbox console, you're not stuck missing out on lots of stuff. But but not having the exclusives means that, yeah, when I look at the Xbox One S or whatever it is at my brother's house, aside from a UI slight difference, it's like, well, there's Fortnite, there's this game and that game, and it's like it's just all the same. So, oh, the PS2 was so good. Oh, trying to run for some of these battles to save some resources. Oh, just the PlayStation 2 coming out, going, you can put your PlayStation 1 games in it, and also you can put your PlayStation 1 memory cards in it. It was like, whoa. Xbox had the big factor, great exclusives, best graphics, and ports at the time. It did have the best graphics. Yeah, exactly. Like PS2 was such good value for money, but the Xbox was more cutting edge. Like watching some of the Xbox streams on Twitch, and it's like, wow, these games look really good. Um, Compared to, and not even just for the time. It's like these look good for now. So, the Dreamcast. I should hate the PlayStation 2 because the PlayStation 2 completely murdered the Dreamcast. There was no hope for the Dreamcast when that was announced, but PlayStation 2 was good. So PlayStation 2 had Final Fantasy X, so I can never turn my back on it. I think the slices. I'm happy Lutz is doing damage to everybody, but he's doing bugger all damage to everybody. Yeah, the GD-ROMs seemed like a good idea for piracy. Having a gigabyte CD made it sound like it'd be tough to pirate, but then you could just fit them onto a CD anyway somehow. So I bought most of the Dreamcast games I owned until it was clear that it was dying. Then I had a boot disc for Fantasy Star Online version 1, like, because it was international, because we imported it. And then it was just like, well, I've got this boot disc. And you'd just go meet with people who also had Dreamcast, and you'd trade blank CDs. It was just like back in the Commodore 64 days, where you'd go over a mate's house with a disc case under your arm, and you'd come back with lots of free games. But by that point, there was no saving it. And because the Dreamcast was dying out, the distribution was dying out. I had friends with burnt CDs. Oops. Sorry, just while I'm mapping out this horrible, horrible dungeon. Gotta heal however we can. Okay. Raptor's still up. Well, that was the thing as well. Like, even renting Dreamcast games was difficult in South Australia, at least. It just wasn't on the radar. Oh, what you did was you got a spindle of CDs and you went to somebody's house, or, I had a 1-speed CD burner, so I would just burn them myself. I'm trying to think if I ever tried to download any off the internet, but I really don't think I would have. I remember leaving my PC on all night to download stuff off of Napster, because that's how long it would take to download a whole album on dial-up. But not so much for CD games. That would have taken far too long. Ugh. How did I rip the disc? That's a good question. Image burn, IMG burn, I think used to be able to do it, but it would make a internet speed in my house now is good. We're in the megabits, 25 odd down, 10, 15 up, I think. Back then, while the Dreamcast had a 33k modem, I had a 56k modem in my PC. So that made the Dreamcast look slow. Oh my god. You're half right. God, it was actually quite a few years ago now. They rolled out what was called the National Broadband Network (NBN). I know it's low. Don't worry. The idea of that was that it would be fibre to the home, fibre to everybody's house. Then we had a change of government. The other government decided that fibre to nodes on the street and then copper to your house was good enough, which we all know is not good enough because you're only as quick as your slowest point. But you know, their goal was to protect cable TV and all those other things that, you know. So who knows? Maybe one day we'll get. You can, and there's places in Australia that got fibre to the home, like because they were early enough in the rollout that they got it or they paid for it. So you can get some really good internet speeds in Australia, but I'm fibre to the node, so not quite as good. But hey, I'm streaming and I've got 16 drop frames for the whole night, so I'm not complaining. I just don't bother with Netflix 4K because it's just not worth the trouble. I'm in the suburbs, yeah. So anyway, I'm doing too much talking, not enough playing. But yeah, I work for I work in IT, so the internet speeds I actually get when I'm at work are horrendous. They're like 10 gig, they're gigabit connections. So nothing's gonna smash up to that when I'm at home. I'm worrying about how much healing I've had to do. But this is how we do dungeons. We map and we come back. Oh my god, why don't they let me run from any of these battles? Ah! You're killing me, game. Killing me now. I'm guessing the internet in Canada is much better. On the plus side, working from home as I do now, the internet speeds we've got aren't too bad. Like, I'm able to do all the video conferencing and stuff I need to do without too much trouble, without too much lag. Okay, there's stairs up. That's good. Let's see if we can just. We can't run from any of these battles. We can't run from any battles at all. So lesson learned. 150. Oh wow, 150 down, 40 up. Jesus. Okay, I'm very jealous now. I think what we're going to do is, now that we found the way up from floor 2, is we'll go heal and we'll come back. But yeah, the distance between safety and these bloody dungeons is too far. A lot of people have fiber. You should have fiber. You don't have fiber? What do you have that gives you such great speed? meow avoids death. I do wish you could change weapons mid-fight, because being able to get Lutz to change to his staff if you're only facing one more enemy, it would be real handy. I think this is just going to match up with... Okay. Let's get the hell out of here. We just need our MP back. There's not much more to it than that. Oh, 1 gig up down. Wow. Seen a type of apartment building type thing, like... See, that would drive me mad if I was in an apartment building and the body corporate or whatever all the landlords don't want to upgrade the internet because they're all 60 years old and don't understand the value of it. When we were first together, my wife and I lived in an apartment with in a block of units with a body corporate, and getting anything done was a complete pain in the ass. Our car got broken into in the secure car parking. They didn't compensate us in any way. And all they did was put up signs saying that there were cameras. There were no cameras. So not upset to leave that place. And then when we lived at our next rental, it was a private rental. So that was a lot nicer than dealing with a landlord or a body corporate. But the guy who owned the place figured himself an electrician, and there was an issue with the carport light, and it kept having issues, and he kept fixing it, but he never actually fixed it. 4 underground parking spots. Oh my God. I've got a house and I can't fit my car in the garage. This is where the car should go. But the garage is not bloody big enough to fit a sedan, so... Are you just here to make me jealous, Serial Warriors? Is that you here to make me feel, feel bitter about not living in Canada? So do you have 4 cars, or? Oh, there you go. You're a Toyota person, I see. It looks nice. It's slightly tidier than it usually is. And it's not, 40 degrees Celsius outside, so I'm not baking. It's not bad tonight. Not bad tonight. The next life upgrade is a new chair for the garage. I'm sitting on an IKEA office chair that we bought many moons ago, and the middle wheel broke off at some point. It's got 5 other wheels, but you can't roll it across the carpet because of that one missing wheel. So last time we were at IKEA, I was like, let's at least get a floor mat, and they were out of floor mats due to, shortages caused by everybody working from home. So webcams and floor mats, that's what we're all lacking. Okay. So, to get through this dungeon... Oh, God. IKEA chairs represent. Yeah, it's not too bad. I just wish it wasn't... Like, the vinyl has all come off, so... It's had better days. Come on, just Get to the tower. Get me to the tower. Get me away from all these random battles, please. Okay. I'm liking not having to use spotlights, I'll tell you now. I should have grabbed some more atlases while we were in Orkbar. Okay. Okay, this battle's not too bad. We'll do this battle. What I'm trying to be cautious of is using too much MP. I love the color scheme on these enemies. I love their neon pink shields. They're awesome. Tell you what, they're pumping out the XP. I'm not going to complain. But we know there's no traps on this floor, so we can just roll on up to the top floor. Oh my god. Why are there battles every 5 seconds? Still haven't learned my lesson. This could be a short run if they kill loot straight away. Oh, yes. Look at that. Okay. Let's do that one. And let's do full heal, please. They get Star Wars Galaxies in Australia. I think so. Remind me of the platform. Was that the MMO for... Was that Star Wars MMO? Okay. We go this way. We go very carefully. See, this seems like a slightly easier battle than the one we just had on the lower floor. Anyway. Yeah, that came out in Australia. That definitely came out in Australia. That was when I was in my not playing MMORPGs mode though, so I remember reading a webcomic called PvP, Player versus Player, and you know they were talking about Star Wars. They were talking about Star Wars Galaxies, as in when that game comes out, they're gonna go play Star Wars, and you know they'll enter that world and they'll never come back. And apparently, Star Wars Galaxies wasn't that good. Was it any good? I don't know. I remember reading things about craft trees and all this sort of stuff. Like, crafting has never been a pull for me, never been a benefit, a feature. Although now that it's free to play, I should play the Old Republic when I get a chance. I loved the KOTOR games back in the day. Running around with a lightsaber is one of the weirder Star Wars species would be good fun. Please don't be one of those dungeons where there's multiple stairs to the next level. And if you take the wrong one, it's a trap. Now, I'm learning my lesson. Was there a PvP or dual mode? Was there a PvP or dual mode? God, you're always testing my memory. I don't think there was a PvP mode in PSO. Um, there's definitely a dual mode in PSO 2. There's PvP in that of some description. Never mucked about with it, but it definitely existed. It exists, I should say, since PSO 2 is still active. I wish the cursor would just remember who I was on. Make this faster. Okay. Yeah, I don't think you could PvP or duel in PSO at all. I think it was co-op only. No traps. Monofluid. Okay, well that's okay. What do we get for monofluid? So trifluid gives us 100 MP. Monofluid gives us 10. Let's get rid of that. Okay. Back to dungeon diving. Oh no, it is a trap floor. This might be a trap floor. And when I say trap floor, I mean that you go upstairs and it's not the right place. Not the right floor to be on. You got to take a different set of stairs, walk around, get attacked 20 million times, die over and over again. All those fun things. All the fun. All the fun you can have. All the fun you can have. All good times. What's really getting me down is the mass target spells. They're attacking everybody at once. Oh, Blue Burst had battle mode. That was the GameCube one, yeah? Was that on anything other than GameCube? I'm a peacenik. I want to play those kind of games at least cooperatively, like Dark Souls arena modes or whatever you call them. Couldn't be bothered. I think I've invaded people like twice in those games. Much rather do co-op. I didn't know that GameCube had an exclusive episode either. So to play all the episodes, and I think I played 1 and 2. Episode 1 and 2 were on the Dreamcast. Right, cool. Don't seem to be any pitfalls on this floor, but I'm going to be wrong. I don't remember. It's been 20 years. And that's one of the, speaking of internet and forums and all that sort of stuff, there's always that one person who seems to have a encyclopedic knowledge of games and know what the enemies are all called and what you could do in it. I'm not that type of person. As you've seen from my dungeon diving, I don't remember which way we went in the dungeon if we leave it and we come back. So, well, I'll tell you what, if PlayStation Online, no, if Fantasy Star Online, all of my screenshots for Twitter and YouTube and stuff for this are PS whatever, and I have to stop myself from thinking it's PlayStation every single time, even though I took the screenshot and I know it's Fantasy Star. If Fantasy Star Online had a battle mode, I never took part in it. So I'd rather. Oh my god, is this going to be this kind of map? Oh, we disarmed a trap at last. And it's because it's a trick chest. Just there to troll you if it explodes in your face. Oh my god. PSO on GameCube did sound interesting, just because it would had better graphics and stuff. And I had a GameCube, I had a black GameCube, didn't have a purple one. Thank you. Not that I cared about the color of it, but when you beat a new game, go to power on the PC, open up a text pad, and start running a walkthrough. Then that was yes, game FAQs. Where would I be without those people? I tell you what. There's quite a lot of Final Fantasy content I would never have seen without those people writing those exhaustive guides. And good on them. What wasn't the best was me using up all my university print quota to print out, Final Fantasy VIII Ultimate FAQ, so I can have it next to me while I'm, trying to beat Ultimate Weapon. But now you can have game FAQs on this screen, have the game on that screen. Oh yeah, you could. The best ones you could just read. Like you could just sit down and read. And it didn't have to be glowing prose, but it just made the game sound so awesome. Those obsessive people, good on them. And they'd always have, if you see this FAQ on any site other than game FAQs or blah blah blah, then you tell me, and it's like, I'm sure nobody ever stole anybody's FAQs. I would love to hear of a case of somebody taking an FAQ, changing the names on it for internet points. But then again, people have done weirder things for internet fame, so who knows? Actually, shouts out to Ludico on Game FAQs, because their Fantasy Star Generation 1 walkthrough is what I'm using. Which I'm not using it right. I'm not following it step by step. But I'm not using it right, but I am. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. I don't know what I clicked for that. Sorry. Thank you for telling me. I would have been just here chatting away, nothing happening. Okay. Lutz might be in big trouble here. Lutz is dead. No, miss. Metal Gear Solid is still going. Lutz is dead. Yeah, getting out of this dungeon. It's been muted for a while, but I've been talking for a while. Oh, fuck me. Oh, that's very embarrassing. Okay. I don't know what I press. I was mucking about with the press to mute in OBS earlier, so obviously I've done something wrong. Oh well, live and learn. It didn't miss much aside from me rambling, I'm sure. We need to get out of here to get loots back. I'm glad that happened when it was just, it was just you and me, Sarah Walrus, and we didn't have a 50-person raid come in and just see me going. And as I learned last week, 666, number of the beast, reviving people doesn't heal them. You have to revive them and then heal them. I was going to ask, actually, Sarah Walrus, since you said about Metal Gear that the game needed to be louder, how's the volume levels for the game today? What if you said nothing that would have been fun? Oh, you wouldn't do that to me, would you? Wouldn't leave me hanging, leave me out to dry? This would become one of the, at least with putting episodes up on YouTube, this would become a lost episode where next time I would say, this is what happened last time, and I'm not putting it up on YouTube because I just flapped my lips and nobody heard a thing for the whole time. The game's been muted the whole time. I'm seeing green. It is very low in the mixer, isn't it? See, this is why people need to tell me if the game's too quiet. Because I did a test. Oh, okay. Now the sound's just died altogether. I'm in good form tonight. Very good form. Okay. That's a bit louder, isn't it? Okay. How's that? See, I'm still learning some of this stuff. It's deafening for me now. Good now? Oh, good. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay. Oh, man. I feel like such an amateur. Oh. I always do a sound check beforehand. I don't know what I've done since that sound check, but obviously I've fucked it up somewhere. Oh, man. I was saying during the Frost Dragon boss fight how much I love the boss fight music, and most likely people can hear it. Oof. Now you can hear all the running away sounds as we run away over and over again. Never be too polite, Cyril Walrus. If you can't hear me or if you can't hear the game, tell me straight away. Now I'm getting myself confused about which way you need to go. should make sure I do that for others as well. You hear me banging into the walls? Excellent. Okay. Oh, no, I never want the game muted. Like, I don't want to be drowned out by the game, obviously. I mean, there's nothing worse than you're watching a stream and you can't understand the person talking because the game's too bloody loud. But that's also the reason why I'd be quiet during the Metal Gear Solid cutscenes and codecs, because trying to talk over other people, the game talking, is just confusing and bad audio. And look at me talking about bad audio when I muted myself and the game itself. Why would you let me run away? Here I am worrying every week that people are just going to hear the fan and it's going to be the whole stuff. Nope, it said you couldn't hear me at all. Oh. I learned something new about streaming every time I stream. So. Number one next week will be, or for Sunday, will be check and double check your audio settings. Keep an eye on those bars. Okay. Where did I get that discus from? Can I equip him with 2 discuses? Not sure. Well, I should look into it. Oh man, it's such a slog just to make it to the bloody dungeon. He's got a full. And also, while we're at it, Tyrone, you can heal up Luke's because he's in trouble already. We've got these healing items that heal us as we walk around, and they do nothing. It makes no appreciable impact on our health and everything else, so, oh my gosh. Oh, let me run. I just want to explore the 3rd floor. So you couldn't hear what I was saying when I just posted that game FAQs link in the chat, I'm guessing. The idea there was I was shouting out Ludico on game FAQs. He wrote the game pack that I'm somewhat following. I'm not following it step by step. I'm not doing exactly what they say to do, but when I don't know where to go next, which can happen quite a lot with these older games, turn to the FAQ. Like, the game is set up with these regen items and everything else. I just wish there was some, I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to think what's the most efficient way to take these guys out, because they've got whole party attacks, which is half the problem with those cool looking shields. Whereas the Centaur is more of a single attack type person. So I was taking the Centaur out first because lightning wasn't as good, but on them, I should say. Okay. Thank you so much for your help, Cyril Wallace. And I think I said it in another chat the other day, but thank you for Mupin 64. That's really cool. We'll definitely have to play Conquer sometime. Queue up a time and we'll play Conquer Online. But I tell you what, I cannot. I played N64 to death, and I will defend that controller because it made sense, because the games were designed well for it. And playing GoldenEye with solitaire controls. Yes, definitely try it. But and it works really well, and the emulation is great. So, thumbs up, double plus. Project 64, when I've used it last, still had graphical glitches and that sort of thing. So having it work just out of the box and having it work, cool. But I can't get my brain to map Nintendo 64 controllers to this correctly. And I know I just need to play a game and configure it until it feels like I'm playing it in a dual stick. But I booted up Conker. I tried to play the multiplayer, just with bots. And strafe is on the C buttons, but forward, back, left, and right are on the left stick. And it was just like, oh, it's terrible. Didn't know what I was in. So yes. So the final hurdle with N64 emulation is me and my brain figuring out how to control games properly. Use right trigger as your Z. Yes, I did that. Oh, your left trigger. Shoulder buttons for LR. Yeah, the LR buttons don't get used much in the games I play, but yes. Hey, ran away successfully. Right stick C buttons, yes. And A equals A, B equals X, yeah. I do wonder sometimes, like with GoldenEye, if I should make... Okay, if I should make it... make these the C buttons and leave that as the stick, so then I can play solitaire. So solitaire controls, if you haven't played GoldenEye in a long time, was the C button up and down, moves you forward and back, but left and right, C button strafe. So you had, WASD essentially, and the left stick made you look around. So maybe I should try that. Maybe that should be the way to go. Okay, let's test. Let's go back into this hall of pain. But as we, it was, I swore by him back in the day. I know that speedrunners, I know that if you stick to the default controls and you tilt the control stick just so, you actually do move faster, which makes life a lot easier when trying to get, facility under a minute and a half or whatever it was for invincibility. But solitaire felt the most like playing with a mouse and keyboard on the N64 controller. Now, that's not a bad idea either. I remember sitting down one afternoon, because we had, I had two brothers, so we had 3 controllers, sitting down and trying the 2 joystick mode, and I could not wrap my head around it in GoldenEye. And it's like, little did we know that, PlayStation would bring out the DualShock controller and we would all get our heads around it not long after that. That's a good idea. You give me great ideas, Cyril. You always give me homework, stuff to go on with. What you should actually do, if you want to play GoldenEye, is download the Yes, I've got that. I do have that. I have the Xbox emulator. I've got the GoldenEye remastered. And I need to invite my brothers over and go, hey, let's play this. We've got 2 Xbox 360 controllers. Yeah, definitely. As soon as I heard about that, I was on it like nobody's business. But I grabbed it on a laptop I was using, and the laptop could not cope with Xbox 360 emulation at all. So it's just a case of getting it onto my PC, which is down here, which actually has a decent graphics card in it. And I should, definitely have to give that a go. It was a rumor mill. It was a rumor for forever that, there was going to be a HD GoldenEye. It was going to happen. And it was going to happen, but then they couldn't get the rights or whatever it was. Which is very sad, but it's the way the business works, especially when we've got that many bonds. I did try emulating it on the laptop, and it was a slideshow. It was... Because this is me at work on my work laptop reading that in my newsfeed at lunchtime and immediately downloading it. And then when I got home I tried it and it was like, yeah, of course the laptop that has lots of RAM but actually doesn't have dedicated video card, of course it's going to struggle. The only issue was at the time my PC tower at home, the graphics card had died. So at that point I was waiting to get a new graphics card, so it was just a case of haven't tried it since I got it. And all my spare game time now is spent streaming. 2 nights a week streaming for the internet, and 5 nights a week watching TV with my wife after the kids go. So that's the balance. But now I'm going to heal just in case. I'm always... God, okay, we need way more healing than that. Don't want to fall. We've come so far. One other thing I thought about doing as a... You know how people play all the Mega Drive games or all the Xbox games or whatever, not as a gimmick, but as a theme for their stream. Before I, randomly decided I'll do Fantasy Star one night, Metal Gear another night. I was thinking about playing through all Bond games. Because there's been James Bond games since day dot, like there's Atari ones, there's Commodore 64 ones. So I've still got a folder on my other computer saying, it's called Bond. It's just got all these ROMs and stuff. And I thought, that would be a good YouTube series or a stream theme, which is to play through all the Bond games. So I might do that at some point, and that would include Golden, all the permutations. Everybody talks about the multiplayer for GoldenEye, and of course that was amazing fun. But there was the single player GoldenEye on Nintendo 64. You had how many missions? And each mission had 3 different difficulty levels, and those 3 different difficulty levels gave you more objectives, or different objectives. Mind-blowing. All on one little cart. And then of course there was the way you unlocked cheats, which was by beating levels on certain difficulties at certain times. Oh, it seemed like, magic. And people would talk about an all Bonds code. That secretly Sean Connery was in there and all that stuff. Oh, it takes me back. And you could fake things so much easier then, because it would be in a game magazine with a photo, like a film camera photo of a TV screen looking terribly blurry, and you'd be like, this is it, I'm not Sean Connery, it looks like this, and you'd just be like, somewhere in that blur is a great secret. But we definitely played multiplayer with them. My brothers and I's favourite mode was one-hit kills. And so it really did become a test of reflexes, because it was like, you see someone, and if you don't shoot first, then it's and you're gone. Oh. That's what led to my first online nickname, which was, I used for myself, which was White Shadow. Which, you know, I like to play as Baron Samedi, because, you know, the trick was always somebody would play as Oddjob, who was way too small, way smaller than everybody else. But I would play as Baron Samedi, so you were a big, white target. It made it worse when you lost to me, because I'm so easy to see and hit. And I was playing with my brother and one of his friends, and I was just whooping them. And I just shouted out, you know, because I was dancing between the bullets. They weren't hitting me even. But I was a White Shadow, beating them all, and that was where I got my first online nickname from. And that led, in part, to that Fantasy Star fan fiction website of mine. Because I took Grizz from Fantasy Star, I recolored him, so instead of blue fur, it was white, and instead of green robes, it was black robes. Very edgy, very teen. And he was called White Shadow, and he was the only albino Motavi. And that made him an outcast. And stories went from there. I don't remember the details of my stories very much. White Shadow did meet Chaz at one point, and everybody made fun of Chaz because Chaz is a dweeb, which I think everybody can agree with. Now I'm talking about my fanfiction. I've got to stop. Oh, what did I waste that spell on? Okay. At least there's been no pitfalls on this floor. Makes me feel like we're perhaps near the top. Because there's been only one path so far. No secret walls, no pitfalls. It's kind of saying to me, boss time. But I don't think we're fighting the black dragon yet. Not sure. Oh, this is such a such a maze. Get me to the end. Set me free. You just want to walk through this worm tunnel of a map and then find that. Then at the end there'll be stairs up. I'm trying to run away. Okay. Bust out the spells. I think that Trifler is going to come in handy if we do come towards the boss. And the problem always is in this game. You know, the later games do it better. You got pizza! Oh. Wish I had pizza. You'll have to tell me what kind of pizza you got just to make me feel worse. For some reason Twitch makes me hungry. It's probably because everybody keeps talking about food. It's the world's... It brings people together. Just trying to... Loots is still getting completely hosed damage-wise, and there's not much I can do about it, aside from... Got some in the fridge. Oh, leftover pizza, even better. Leftover pizza, like... reheated in the air fryer or the oven. Beautiful. I don't like it reheated in the microwave because it gets too soggy and cardboardy. But if you have leftover pizza and you don't have an oven and you do have a toaster, like a sandwich press. Heat it up a bit in the microwave, then chuck it in the sandwich press and bake it in there for a little while, because that gets rid of some of the excess moisture from the microwave. That's my tip. That's my hot tip. That's what I would do at work when I had leftover pizza for lunch. Right, what am I doing? Talking about too busy talking about food. Let's use mono fluid on Luke's because it's only 10 MP anyway. Let's not use it yet. On the plus side, we can just use this tri-fluid when we do get the boss and leave it. Oh, my wife swears by cold pizza, but I need it hot. It needs to be heated up for me. Okay, I think we've got a boss here. We're at the very end. What have we got? Oh, maybe another boss. You made it, nice. Here's the sacred eclipse torch. Every 1,000 years, an eclipse makes the freaking planet dark for days. The torch protects us. We can loan you the eclipse torch if you give us the amber eye. There you go, the amber eye finally comes into use. Thank you, the amber eye will be a symbol of goodwill. Got the eclipse torch. Here's the deal, use the passes to get to Antiplano Plateau. Crush the ice too. The lerma tree is there. The light of the eclipse torch will make the tree bear nuts for the muscat. For me? Huh? You're gonna see. You the key to facing Lashek in the clouds. Me? I'm the key? That's awesome. Maybe. Maybe what, Tyrone? Just maybe Lashek is allergic to cats. You can't be freaking serious. Okay, it'd be a little funny. I got one last little hint for you, you dig? The Azorian cave to the southwest of here has the Laconian shield. Haven't been there yet. So, do we need the Laconian shield in the Azorian cave? Yes, meow. Can't really say much more about that, can you? Alright. So, let's go southwest. Oh, God. Killing me, gang. Just need a highlight reel of me trying to run and going, no, I want you to let me run. And then we run and it works. A cave, looking for a cave. Okay. I refuse to engage with this game's mechanics. Oh, fine. No, attack the red ones. Okay. So we got two objectives from there. We got to get to this plateau and use the eclipse torch. Oh, I didn't even look at the item. Do that. But we also have to get this Laconian shield. Hopefully the Laconian shield is for Luke's, and that helps buff his bloody defense. But it's still woeful. He's a paper, he's a glass cannon. Just before we go into whatever this cave is, used for holding the sacred flame. Oh, and we need a searchlight for the first time in forever. Alright, let's check it out. Oh no. Oh, okay. Go left, got it? Okay. Just gives me a burning desire to know what's to the right. Oh, okay. Okay. Alright, cool. Right, the Dazorian lied to us. What? What? Oh, God. These motherfucking Dazorians. Oh, you... See, this is where we go... We use this spell, and then we go back and kill that motherfucker. Do we have to use another searchlight? Oh, God. Tell me about one more. Okay. No. Go to hell. Ah, okay. I got 4 of these guys. Damage output is just not keeping up. Not keeping up with the levels of these enemies. Tyrone is. But if there's 4 of them doing that much damage, we're in big trouble. Okay. Okay. Everybody leveled up just from that one. Maybe that Dazorian was helping us out. Gave us the express elevator again. Ah! We're running! They just had a button that let you run automatically from an item that, you know, like a max repel that you just escape from every battle. They're really best. Okay. How's our stats? There's nothing more disappointing when you get to a new dungeon. And it's got same old textures and same old enemies. I think you better heal, Loops. What do you reckon? I'm very disappointed that the game did not give us the chance to attack that lying Dazorian. Okay, so maybe going to the left wasn't the worst idea. But at least this way we know the way back up. Not that we need to know the way back up because we would just teleport out when we're done. God. Try mapping this. Okay. Let's see if we can run away. Oh, we can't run away. We can never run away. We can never escape. Now gotta keep an eye on Meow's MP. Going down too. So they say gotta go through the passes to go to the plateau. Find the tree. So it's worth consulting the map over. Okay. Okay. So when he said passes, I'm guessing he means the tunnels, the various passes. Oh, we'll get there in the end. We'll crack level 60, sure. So I'm very confused about the layout of this dungeon at the moment. We've gone all the way down, now we're going all the way back up. And there's been no sign of any shield. Okay. So every other Laconian weapon we've had to fight someone for. So I'm a bit concerned if the Laconian shield is just going to be sitting out in the dungeon. I mean, it'd be good if it was. Our resources are getting somewhat drained. Everybody's just stacking damage on the dragon and it's not getting us anyway. Okay. Oh, at last. The eyes go down so much easier than the dragon does. Every dragon type enemy in this game has way too much HP. Just a slog. Okay. What did we find back on B1? Oh, let me run. I just want to get to the next floor. Just attack, attack, attack. Get me out of here. Oh, that miss sound is so bad. Such a killer. Okay. Right. Is this where we need to be all along? Should I put Wrapped on so we actually don't fall down any holes? Will we ever be able to run away from any battles? Who knows? It's a mystery. Stop it. Let's just pretend that there's not a boss at the end of this dungeon. looking at all the ice in this game is making it really cool. Centaurs look like 80s anime characters. It's awesome. I love their helmets. The battle continues. Oof, I thought there was going to be just a complete pile on Elisa there. Well, nobody had a Virtual Boy. That was the whole point. Nobody ever bought them. I certainly never saw any in-store displays. They just didn't even bother. I've seen video of what it would look like, but of course that's video on a screen, so on a flat screen rather than on in your eyeballs like it would look. So who knows how good it looked. Very red though. Don't tell me you had a Virtual Boy cereal walrus. Oh gosh, everybody's getting poisoned. Right. That was a good run. That was a good runaway move. After that. There's this mysterious console growing up for me. I'd never seen one, but my older brother would tell me about it. I knew one of us said it was even real. It was a Nintendo console. Everything was red. And the only game on it was Mario Tennis. No treasures, no pitfalls. What secrets does this dungeon hold? And a ridiculously high encounter rate. Attack the Snake Lords. Well, living in Australia, there was lots of consoles you wouldn't think were, you would never know were real because they were import only and things like the turbo graphics, all that sort of stuff that just never even made it to our shores. So Nintendo having one that never made it, that's a whole different story. I wonder how many Virtual Boys were even made. I distinctly remember being in a chain store and seeing stacks of unsold Saturns, and I bought one for like $50. But I don't think I even ever saw a Virtual Boy anywhere. I wasn't really looking for one. I was reading gaming magazines by that point. Every gaming magazine said this thing sucks. So I wasn't hanging out with the Virtual Boy. So. Oh my god. This dungeon is humongous. 6 floors, up and down, all this rubbish. No sign of this bloody shield. The urge to turn to PSK and look up a map is getting stronger. Thank you for the encouragement. Much appreciated. Okay. I can tell you that the shield is on the 6th floor. So the gimmick of this dungeon is, you go to the left, you fall all the way down the bottom, and then find your way back up? I'm not sure. Maybe teleporting out was the wrong move, but oh well, I'm going to stand by it. You've got to have a game. You've got to have NPCs that's willing to lie to you, to troll you a bit. We keep things spicy. Oh my god, how much health do these guys got? The grind continues here all the time. But it's gotten very grindy on Bezoris. Level 60 for everybody but Lutz. Okay, where are we sitting? The problem is, like, the battles are getting longer, but they're not getting any difference. But these guys are different. But because we just did the Corona Tower, we're a bit short on resources. I'm not going to waste the drive for it. It just wears you down. HP, MP. Hot Shots Golf. I played Mario Golf, including the Game Boy Advance one, so I could unlock stuff in Mario Golf on game. I played everybody's golf. That's related to Hot Shots Golf, isn't it? It's a descendant of Hot Shots Golf because I love everybody's golf. Everybody's golf is just. I'm one of those people who could never play. I get far too frustrated with actual golf. And I definitely find the sport of golf watching on TV whatever terribly boring, but I will play video game golf till the end of time. Did you play Hot Shots Golf? Ah, okay. Bloody Americans could have a different name for stuff. Well, we're a lot closer to Japan than we are to America, so. Yeah, I've got everybody's golf on the PS4, and I've got everybody's tennis as a PS2 or PS3 Classic, whatever it is, on the PS4 as well. My oldest daughter loves them. She loves both games, so they're very good for kids. Since you just have to press a button, press it again. Not too complicated. And I've unlocked all the courses and stuff. But it's just a chill time. I like playing the online mode and listen to a podcast and just have a bit of a tour around, shut around the course. Somewhat professional. Oh my gosh! Good evening. You're raiding at a time when we're in a very terrible dungeon. So welcome aboard. We're in a deep, dark dungeon on an icy planet in Phantasy Star 1, so welcome. Welcome. Sierra Walrus was doing their best to keep my morale up, but it's a 6th floor dungeon, and we're looking for a shield, and oh my gosh. Hi Mags Vicious, how you going? There's some intense battles earlier. Intense battles, me with technology. Oh. Luke's is down. Okay. Thanks so much, Somewhat Professional. Thank you very much. Tell you what, we're gonna... Dare we push on? Let's just see if we've made it to the end of this bloody dungeon. Looking promising. You have a good night too. Thanks very much. Got the Laconian shield just in time, just as we lost our main magic user. So let's get the hell out of this dungeon. Now, actually, we've gone the wrong place. Not so much the wrong place, but I've got an idea of where we need to go next to find the Murmur Tree. And we're on the wrong side of the planet from that. This guy sells searchlights. Let's just make sure. Need searchlights when we enter a new dungeon. And the atlases give us an auto map, so I love those. So we're deep into Phantasy Star Generation 1, where we're searching for the Lerma Tree. We've got the Eclipse Torch, and for whatever reason, we're going to make this tree grow nuts, which will feed to our cat, and then things will happen. Very good RPG logic happening. But being the last planet of 3 that you will get to, this planet is ball-bustingly hard and makes us walk through all these various tunnels just to get anywhere. This one's nice. It doesn't have any random encounters, but the other ones do. What I actually want to do is go back to the spaceport. And the reason for that, after we save, is the passes, the passages we go down get harder as we go. And the area we need to get to is kind of in the southwest. So we might as well attack it from the easier angle. You can see from the save screen how long we've been on this bloody planet. That's the only other town on this planet, and that was level 50. That was 3 game hours, nearly 4 game hours ago. And here we are. Everything frozen over, everything happening. You're right, Serial Horse. I was close, very close. Very quick. Map check. We definitely need a map in this game. South, west, west, west. Tooling around in the snow. Always worth doing a heat check. See how well we're progressing with our leveling up. Considering these enemies have been difficult since we got here, I wouldn't be surprised if we haven't got that far. At least being able to kill one in a round is progress. Oh, poultry. Poultry, 7,500. So we've got all these named passages to get through. combo. Have to make value judgments on whether we run away or not. While you can teleport back to initial villages, you can't teleport back to dungeons, so we'll do a lot of walking to get there. Rewards are worth it. Maybe not money, but XP. Which way was I facing? These paths, for the most part, are simple enough that we can just ignore auto mapping, but once we're in a dungeon, that's what we're going to do. The encounter rate is ridiculously high. Okay. Now, can't get it. These guys are pretty weak, so that, except for poison, yes, and the fire. Just a satisfying sound. Alright. I might burn Atlas on this one. Because I haven't been here in a long time. Oh! Gosh, forget my head. We got the Zirconian shield. Who can equip it? Anybody? Can Luke's equip it? Because he needs the defense the most. Negatory. Oh, well, Elisa could definitely use way more defense. How long have we had that leather shield for? Too long. Far too long. Okay, let's get on. Let's get up there. We're getting close. I need the ice digger. Actually managed to remember something. Now, that tree looks a bit different than all the rest, doesn't it? Touch the controller, I'm thinking. Let's quickly out. Rock and roll. Oh, Lou's got that level 60. That was a looniness. Is this the lemon tree? It still needs to bloom. Elisa raised the ellipse clips. The lemon tree grew leaves and nuts. Elisa placed some lemon nuts in the Laconian pot. We got nuts. Thank you, lemon tree. These lemon nuts smell just like that time. That time, the mad doctor's stuff smelled like this. But now, it's okay. I can control myself now. I've gotten over my dependency. You have certainly matured during our travels, Meow. Meow, mature? What a riot! I shall not dignify that with a response. Stop acting so smart. Act like yourself. That's a low blow, Tyrone. Oh, you... I thought we had to give these to... I thought we had to give these to Meow. No? Let's get back to Palmer. We should stop by Epi and talk to Hashimi. Okay. Okay. Right. Both of those require space. Oh. Never been happier to leave the friggin' Iceland. We've been on this place for hours. Now, Epi, I think, was on the table. Let's do a quick heal while we're here. The desert is a beautiful sight after all that ice, I'll tell you what. I think Epi's on this planet. No. Okay. Wait. Shin. Must be on Palmer as well. Okay. God. I'm losing track. That's the first planet. Let's drop a save for our trouble fire. Ah, there's a few more. This is okay. Okay. Ah, Hashim's the mayor of Dublin. Okay. Ah, you kids are just in time for supper. Let me guess. You need to get into Bayer Malay. Yes. Sia Demoa lives in its isolated tower. You'll need Demoa's crystal to stave off Lashiek's darkest magic. Demoa's crystal. You'll have to pass through Royal Gate, which has been there since the start of the game. Sounds easy enough. Then you'll have to face a black dragon in battle as our last dragon. Not a problem. Aha, that's the spirit. Get on out of here. Elisa, it's time for you to reclaim your birthright. Reclaim? Birthright? Metal Gear? I don't get it. Your future. Your destiny. Yes. We will, Hashim. Good. As for you, Miserous Lux, Issa Lanai, dispel the gate seal with the power of Mode. You, my full name. Oh, plot dumps all of a sudden. Your mentor told me all about you. Hashim knows Tajim. There you go. Master Tajim spoke of me. Yes, he spoke highly of you. I know you all can do it. Go defeat Lashiek. Getting a bit hyped here. Won't save, but Sion's closest to the gate. Does that mean? Oh, okay, there we go. We've got a new spell. Open sealed doors. Alright. With that gate ahead of us, I think that's a good spot to leave us. It's actually getting quite late in my part of the world. Thank you for watching. Apologies for the technical issues earlier. Have yourself a good evening. Thanks very much.